What's up? What's up, world? All right, time for that streaming consciousness. This is where I'm at today. I made this statement in the gym. By the grace of God, I got receipts. See what I'm saying? I got receipts. And what I meant by that was, I talked to you guys about a lot of stuff. And it's mostly because I want to give you what I got. You know what I'm saying? I know where I came from, and I know what the struggle was like to get to where I'm at by the grace of God. By the way, if you guys are trying to quit Zen, these neurotropic pouches with no nicotine, no tobacco, but makes your brain work better. I gotta start my Amazon store. I'll put them up on the Amazon store. Anyways, they're dope. So, and I give you guys what I got, I give you guys the principles and the different things that I'm working on, because my whole brand, the whole goal was never to be the man. The whole goal was always just to be the man in the ring, right? You can't build something lasting from the presupposition or position or framework that you already have all the answers, because I don't. But my goal was always to struggle in front of you guys and for you guys to see how that goes by the grace of God. And I never wanted to be a guy that was honestly, to be completely honest with you, talking about Jesus all the time, or talking about things that can be perceived as ushy-gushy bull crap or fluffy stuff. But what I've learned in this life, after literally going to war, and after literally, being in 5 blasts and having my own out-of-body experience and fighting men, and then getting into executive protection and traveling the world with billionaires and millionaires and watching their lives and seeing the world many times over, 40, 50 countries a year, 60 countries a year sometimes for 7 years straight, and being in king's palaces and, protecting people that a lot of us want to be like. Even myself at times want to be like some of these people. I've just noticed things, man, and I've been doing that since 2008. After war, which war grows you up because you see life, death, you see a side of reality that very few people inside the US get to see. And I've just realized, man, there's a game within the game, and that game, I take that back, let me flip that. There's a game above the game, and that game above the game has very little to do with your physicality, and in many ways your physicality is a manifestation of the game within the game in some ways, but not in all ways. I met a lot of guys that are jacked, tan, but have very weak emotional intelligence, spiritual intelligence, and dominion, right? So as a man, as an effective human, forget about just being masculine and feminine for a second, as an effective human, you were designed to walk this planet. We have a choice. You can walk it in many different ways. But what I've found is the highest level of dominion and effectiveness and peace that I've found is to walk it as a son of God, right? And this requires development in your physical, in your spirit, your soul, and your body. And I'll hammer this home until I feel a check in my spirit. And that is to understand and walk in dominion and power in your body, which gives you earth consciousness, the thing that you need to walk around the planet. Your soul, which is your mind, your will, your emotions, your intellect, your heart. Follow your heart. How's that working out for you? Your soul, your mind, your will, your emotions, your intellect, your heart, right? Gives you self-consciousness. This is the conversation going on in here. And then your spirit, which hopefully is the spirit of God inside you. That gives you God consciousness. That's the part of you that can connect to the Creator through Jesus Christ, that can connect to God and help you zag, learn, and move. But I give you these principles because I was that guy, and I don't ever want to forget that. I was that guy who, and I know there's guys in this position, there's people in this position, male or female, but I'm just going to speak from a masculine frame. That's what I am and who I am. But I was that guy who was growing up, it was friend zone, chubby, watching all the cool kids have all their cool stuff. They could all afford stuff. I had to believe God for when I was going to get my lunch, But on the outside, nothing was that bad, so I didn't have nothing to really complain about. Everything was all right, it was all good. But I was the only, I was the only black kid, or I was the only American kid around a bunch of Bahamian kids, or, around a bunch of Pacific Islanders, or, I was like, God was so good to me in the way he had me exist, being the only, and it taught me lessons early, all this, there's a lot of tribes that are starting to stand up that are for men's support. There's a lot of guys talking about, you need a good group of friends. And I think they're right. I think there's something to that, but I ain't never had that, right? So that's who I'm talking to when I talk. I ain't never had that before. All I've learned about humans is humans are humans, you know what I'm saying? And all I've learned about humans is that there's only one being that deserves perfect trust, and that's God, because he's not a human that he should lie, right? We all need Jesus. You know what I'm saying? So, your mama loves you, but she can't help you figure it out. Your daddy's gonna fail you. You know what I'm saying? Your brothers and sisters, God bless them, they're gonna do the best they can, but they ain't gonna help you. Your friends that you're gonna start a business with because you're too insecure to start it on your own because you don't know who you are, because you haven't got on the path, which is super, super, ultra, mega normal. Everyone starts from there. But we all make these mistakes, and all your business partners and your friends that you're gonna start a business with are all gonna fail you. They're all gonna stab you in the back. Not all of them, but they're gonna fail you, bro. You know what I mean? Let's just get it over with, bro. Your girl's gonna cheat on you. The whole thing, and what you learn in life, and your mama's gonna love you the whole time and not be able to do anything to freaking help you. You know what I'm saying? And so what you're gonna find, my guy, girl, whoever you are, and that's the person that I think I'm called to talk to, is that there's only one being that's gonna be there with you when you're sitting in your room and you're just like, what do I do? And then you're going to be called to do something that's going to be greater than you, because this whole thing's about you developing into so much more than you ever thought you could be. Imagine, as a father, I look at my son and my daughter and my kids and even my young Marines and my employees, and I have a fatherly drive to help them develop into the best and strongest version of themselves. And literally none of that growth comes from me making their life easy. Understand this. So if you have a heavenly father that's been watching you and trying to help you become stronger and greater, better, more like him, nothing, you don't grow when it's easy. I didn't just go to the gym to grow by chilling. Yeah, every one of you that slept in today literally didn't grow. Unless you're growing you're a kid still and you're growing in your sleep, you know what I mean? So I say all that to say that the reason I talk about these spiritual disciplines is because that God that I mentioned, Jesus, my Lord and Savior, was the only being, the only thing, the only one that was with me through all these phases that I prayed to have lunch, to figure out what I was going to eat for lunch, that I prayed to when I was in boot camp, to help me get through things I'd never done before. When I prayed to when I was in Iraq and I was 18, 19, fighting grown men to the death in another country, in charge of a squad of other young men who were looking to me to make the right decisions, that I prayed to when, I got out and I found myself all around the world in different environments where I didn't know exactly when to zig, when to zag, how to survive, as I was learning the executive protection game at a super, super accelerated rate. All the victories that I've had, and this is why I say I got receipts. I'm not just sharing. Byron would like to have a cool brand that you just think is cool because of how cool I am. That would be great, but I know that literally wouldn't serve you. So I'm not on Instagram showing you pictures of just me shooting, just me driving around in cool cars and pretending anything. All I can give you is what will really help you, because I remember where I came from. I came from having to figure it the frick out by the grace of God and through hard work. And what I've found is you can pray all you want, but unless you work just as hard, if not harder, nothing's gonna happen. And I found that He's the one that has delivered me time and time again, and has been there with me time and time again. And so that's why I talk about these things. I'm not your youth pastor. I ain't your band camp teacher. I'm not that. I'm still Byron. You know what I mean? Like, if you catch me on the wrong day at the wrong time, you know, I might punch you in the face. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still a human too. I'll fail you. I'll disappoint you. I'm only even been kept at this level for as long as I have because the Lord has done that. Otherwise, I have fallen and I will fall and all these things, you know. But the only reason I've been kept at this place is because of the grace of God, you know. And there've been millions of attacks and millions of haters that have sworn to destroy me, you know what I mean? And I haven't actually had to defend myself. He always does, you know. And so I guess what I say to you guys on this morning, this beautiful Monday morning that God's given us, is just, I want you to know how good your Father is. I want you to know that if you're like me when I started this journey and you're sitting in some room by yourself and you don't know what to do and you don't know where to go and you're realizing that your mama's love can't pay the bills and all your friends are full of crap because the ones that could help you won't help you and the ones that would help you ain't got the money to help you. and you're realizing that, like, dude, how the heck are you gonna figure this out? I'm just telling you what I did and what I got to give you something that's gonna help you. I'm not here to be cool. I'm here to feed your soul stuff that helped me get through the dark nights of the soul. As you just gotta ask Jesus to make himself real to you. That's literally all you have to do. And realize that religion is a weaponized tool that was designed to separate you from your Father. You know, my dad's awesome. I love him, but like, he didn't raise me. God raised me because I started crying out early, Father in heaven, I need your help. I don't know what to do. And that has made all the difference in my entire life. And if you ask Jesus to make himself real to you, then that's what will happen. And then you gotta just send me a DM about it. I got a lot of DMs on this. And then you gotta send me something on it because I just want to know what he's doing in your guys' lives. But that's it. Don't even think about religion right now. Religion's what Satan created to murder Jesus and to separate us, to think like, oh, well, I need to be good enough. What if I'm not good enough? That's literally not the point. Like, literally the point is you weren't good enough. You won't ever be able to be good enough. So you need God to help you become more like him. And that's the whole thing. Like, it's really wild because I used to want to do all these things, these bad things, and I used to have all these drives. I used to not know how I was going to be happy if I lived this life of, like, some ways wholesomeness. And what I've learned is that I can't meet my needs. I'm not a good God, not in a way that's lasting and that won't destroy everyone around me. And so, but when you're in him, you get to live out the greatest adventure of your life in ways that he takes you to places you never could have imagined. And so that's all I want you guys to know today is, like, he's the only person you can count on, and he's the only person that's going to actually help you, and he's going to help you more than you ever could have imagined if you just humble yourself and say, Father, I don't know the way, I don't know what to do. I literally need you to show up right now and make yourself real to me. Jesus, if you're out there, I need you, and help. And that, my friends, is how I've lived my entire life. It's the cheat code, bro. And then you'll develop your spirit, man. And then you'll start to learn how to use some of these tools that we talk about. And you'll really start to learn how to bend reality and create this thing. Love you guys. Woohoo! Happy Monday.
Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called sons of God.